Greetings, I am Pillar Nexus, the Ancient Gladiator, today with Pillar Loves Tabletop Games. Today with one of the games I picked up from the auction lately, uh, the Duke. In the Duke, you'll have one of two armies, the Lightwood Army and the Darkwood Army. You'll have a Duke and a couple footmen at the start, but over the course of the game, you'll have an opportunity to draw more support to go out and fight your opponent. The goal of the game is to capture your opponent's Duke. It's also possible that you run out of pieces to draw and you are unable to move your pieces, which can happen if moving your piece would put the Duke in danger, at which point you would lose. So, at the start of the game, you will take your Duke and two footmen, and the Duke will occupy one of the two center squares, and the footmen will be placed orthogonally adjacent to the Duke, as you see fit. All of these are valid setups. So determine the first player. The player has two major options. One is to move a tile. There's a movement grid on each tile consisting of the starting side symbol or the non-starting side symbol representing the tile itself. A solid black circle is a move. You move to that space. If there's an enemy unit there, it is removed. If the circle is hollow instead, then it is a jump. With a move circle, you cannot move past if there's someone that would be in between you and your destination. So this footman is on this side. They have the power to move here, but this footman is in the way. If this was a hollow circle instead, it would be a jump, and they could just jump over. But there are arrows, which are slide, or the ability for that unit to slide. True. What'll happen is you can go in any number of spaces in either direction, and then flip after moving. If there's somebody in the way, you cannot move past them, but you can still move onto them and capture them anyway. If you have a hollow triangle instead of solid, then that's a jump slide, and you can just ignore that and go all the way over. Instead of moving, you have the option to take a piece from your bag and place it orthogonally adjacent to your Duke. So part of the strategy of the game will be moving your Duke to a good location so that they can deploy troops better to more advantageous setups. More advanced symbols, we have the star, which is strike. So if something is occupying the strike space, you can strike it, and it's eliminated, and you flip your troop. It's a way to maintain a defensive position without um, having to move out of it. But then you're going to have to move anyway to get it back. Other symbol. Let's go ahead and dump everything and see what all we find here. Let's see. Okay, so we have on the Marshall, we have a little arrow, little two arrows. That is command. You take a troop that is occupying one of those spaces and then move it to another one of those spaces. That does not flip them, but it does flip your piece that does that. There is a skull symbol. Oh, dread. And I don't think it's part of the basic set. Let's see here. Okay, I don't see any units with them. Uh, but dread, what it allows you to do is after the movement is complete, any tile that is in that square is frozen in place. They can't move, they can't do anything. They're basically stuck there until your unit ceases to cause dread. Yeah, I think the only dread causers in this starter set is I say starter set, it's more accurately base game, but we'll get to the expansions here in a minute. There's there are some additional tiles which I'll talk about later. And finally there's defense. So let's see here. It is a solid square, and it basically prevents attacks from that direction. And I don't think it's in any of the core game stuff here, which kind of surprises me. All right. But if, let's say, this front work was a defense, so say, is there an attack from that direction would not work, but an attack from a different direction would. Yeah, that's basically it. You're just gonna move your pieces, draw new pieces, and when you put a Duke in check, you declare guard. A reminder to the player, hey, you need to protect your cornerstone piece of the army. Then once you've got the base game down, there are ways to add to the experience through all sorts of expansions. The base game includes um, King Arthur versus Morgana. So there's Morgana with the dread. There's Mordred with defense to the side. There'll be the rules for that in the core game book. Other expansions will include tiles that are used in one of three ways. The first is just add the tiles to your bag. The second is take specific tiles out of your bag and replace them with those replacements. The third is tiles that go off to the side, like Conan and Cole and Solomon Kane and Dark Agnes Castellan. And when you pull the appropriate type of tile that they would replace, you have the option to take the tile from the side and deploy it instead. So yeah, all the expansions I've seen so far, because when they sold this game, they sold a ton of expansions with it. So obviously, Robert E. Howard, Siege Engines, Middle Ages, City Troops, Battle Troops, Gunpowder Uprising, Robin Hood, and Three Musketeers. Regardless of what you want to use, they are all compatible to play with this game. Some of them introduce non-capture move, where it's like a smaller circle or triangle, and if you go there, you can't use it to capture any opponents pieces. Siege Engines adds area effect, hammer, smash. Smash ignores defense. Hammer ignores defense. Smash is actually a move option. Hammer is based on strike. An area effect can connect stuff. Yeah, that's basically all that for the expansions. And then to top it off, there's a completely reskinned version of the Duke that is also compatible with it. Jarl, the Vikings tile laying game. I've never seen this series, but I'm curious. Instead of the Duke, you'll have the Jarl, and their pieces. There's and some of them have two starting sides, so you can decide what side to play them on. Yeah, normally when you deploy, you only deploy them on the starting side, not the non-starting. But yeah, it's entirely possible to play a game of the Duke with the Jarl that you could have one side with the medieval knights and the other side with Vikings, which is really freaking cool. Oh yeah. Just for the respect for transparency, this was also included. This is just a polyurethane playmat. The regular board is cardboard, and it's kind of hard to set flat, which is why I really like this one. Anyway, that is the Duke. There's there's a lot you can do to expand the game and just enhance the experience. One of the things I skipped on the things you can do on your turn is to use the little command or the special abilities. Like there's supposedly like four, five, six unique abilities. Mordred has ability number 3 on his starting side, which is escape. You can sacrifice any friendly tile adjacent to initiate this capability, and move the tile with escape back to one of its two starting squares where the Duke may set up, and it automatically reverts to its starting side. So that's something more you can do. I really want to see more of the abilities get some use out of it, out of them. But yeah, what I like about this is it's an interesting approach to a two-player battle game of being sort of chess-like, sort of shogi-like, and adding this kind of random draw mechanic as well. It's a very interesting approach, and I definitely want to play this game with at least somebody at the game store. Yeah, that's the Duke. check it out. It's cool. All right. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Pillar Nexus, and I'll see you next time.